White House advisor Jared Kushner resumed his effort to forge peace in the Middle East. Well, the president's son-in-law met with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem today before heading to Ramallah to sit down with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Kushner says the White House is very committed to achieving a deal, but the Palestinians have already begun complaining about the lack of progress. For more on Kushner's prospects and the rest of President Trump's foreign policy challenges, we're joined now by former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton. Ambassador, thanks for being here.
Glad to be with you.
All right, so I spent some time as a correspondent in the Middle East several years ago, and I came back and thought, this is an intractable problem. It ain't going to happen in my lifetime. Is there any better prospect now?
No is the short answer. I mean, good luck to the administration. You have to admire their intentions, but ultimately, peace between Israel and the Palestinians has to rest on some foundation in reality, and that doesn't exist now, given a variety of factors: the overall turmoil in the region, the absence of a legitimate Palestinian government or representative that can really speak authoritatively for the Palestinian people that has some veneer of democratic legitimacy. And I think just the impossibility of circumstances to allow Israel to accept on its borders terrorist states, more terrorist states, I should say, right, with no recourse other than self-defense when they're attacked. So I don't think it's going to happen.
You know, when the president was over there, he met twice with Abbas. He met with Netanyahu, and according to reports, neither one of them would give an inch. So, I mean, and the president was very specific in avoiding talking about a two-state solution, that Netanyahu's cabinet is dead set against a Palestinian state. So I don't see any grounds for a breakthrough.
Well, I don't think there are any grounds, and I think more fundamentally even than what we've discussed is the two-state solution. This whole concept has failed. The fact is that even if you could draw the boundaries of a Palestinian state, Gaza and some piece of the West Bank, it would not be viable. It would have no chance to have legitimacy from a representative government. I think the only way ahead for Palestinians, who have been the tip of the spear for radicals in the region for a long time, is have the Gaza Strip go back to Egypt, and have some piece of the West Bank be retroceded to Jordan. That's the only chance for the Palestinians themselves to be attached to viable economies. So far, they don't want that, so we go nowhere.
Would Egypt or Jordan even go along with that?
Well, they wouldn't be happy about it. That's part of the problem. The Palestinian people have been weaponized for political purposes for so long that it's hard to imagine them being reunited. I think it's actually easier to imagine some form of Jordanian sovereignty on the West Bank than dealing with Gaza. The upside is that Hamas, the terrorist group that runs Gaza, is an affiliate of the Muslim Brotherhood. So while the Egyptian government is dealing with the Muslim Brotherhood, here's their chance to deal with Hamas, too.
I mean, Hamas does have a political arm, but mostly they're just terrorists. And, of course, they don't agree at all with Abbas, whose seat of power is over in the West Bank, and he's unpopular even at home. And then you've got Netanyahu, who, you know, is under a corruption investigation that could result in an indictment. So the players are not even players, really.
Well, certainly on the Palestinian side, I'd say Netanyahu obviously has his travails, but one political development in Israel that's not well understood in the United States is that public opinion across the political spectrum, right, left, and center, has moved strongly against the idea of peace with the Palestinians just to say they've made peace. They understand the nature of the terrorist threat, and they're resigned to deal with it as best they can, but it won't be by giving the Palestinians their own state.
All right. Sometimes peace is simply unattainable, especially when one side is dominated by so many people who engage in acts of terrorism.